Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So today we will chant up to 11 verses. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam, Bhaj Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrim Karane. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam, Bhaj Mudhamate, Mudhajahi Dhana, Gamadrishnam Kuru Satbuddhim, Manasi Vitrishnam Yallabhase, Nijakarmopatam, Tam tena vinodaya chittam bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate nari stana bharanabhi desham drishtva maga mohavesham Vetanaman savasadi vikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tat Vajjivitamatishaya chapalam vitti vyatyaभिमानग्रस्तं lokam shokahatam cha samastam bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate yavat vitto Parjana Saktah Tavat Nija Parivaro Rakta Paschat Jivati Jara Jara Dehe Vatam Kopina Pruchati Gehe Bhaj Govindam Govindam bhaj mudhamate yavat pavano nivasati dehe tavat pruchati kushalam gehe gatavati vayo dehapaye bharya Pyati tasmin kai bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate balastavat krida saktah tarunastavat taruni sakta vriddhastavat sakta parame brahmani kopi na sakta bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate kate kanta kaste putraha samsaro yamativa vichitra kasya tvam kuta ayata tatvam chintayatadiha bhratam bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate satsangatve nisangatve nirmohatve nischalatatvam nischalatatve jivanamukti bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate vayasi gate ka kama vikara shushke nire kahakasara kshine vitte kaha parivaro gyate tatve kaha samsara bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate ma kuru dhana jana yauvan garvam harati nimishet kala sarvam mayamidam akhilam bhutva brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditva bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate. So last class we saw verse number 10 or shloka number 10, which was talking about cause and effect. If you remove the cause, even the effect is removed. And he gave 3 examples that, once our age passes us by, then we do not have the lust and its play, that we are not tormented by that. When the waters have dried up, there is no lake. And when our wealth is gone, all our relatives leave us. Similarly, when the cause of samsara, this world that we experience, is ignorance, and when we come to know the essence, then where is this samsara? Samsara is living in the world of change, going through ups and downs of life, of having, pangs of sorrows and suffering, and then getting excited and elated, just ups and downs constantly. We are buoyed up and down in life. So he says, once you come to know the truth, then the ups and downs will no longer be there in life. Now, having said that, he elaborates on, how to overcome ignorance. So he says, Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam. Do not take pride in your possessions, in your youth, and dhana jana, and your relatives, your contacts in the world. Because in a moment, time will take it all away from you. So do not take any pride in it. Recognize that this is all a play of Maya. And Brahmapad, so Maya, Mayamidam, Akhilam Budva. So it says, recognize that this is all a play of Maya, and Brahmapadam, you get established in the Brahman, how enter and be established in the state of Brahman. Pada is a position, but here it means state. Be established in the state of Brahman. How? Viditva, through knowledge. So this is a beautiful verse, and it takes, this will probably take 1 or 2 or more classes to get a full grasp of it. So here he is not asking us again to give up wealth, not to enjoy our, not to be youthful, or to give up our relatives or contacts in the world. He is asking us to give up the pride that comes with it. And it is this pride that is the cause of, it leads us further into ignorance and keeps us deluded. So, and he says, recognize that this will be taken in a moment from you, and realize that this is all a play of Maya. Maya midam akhilam. This whole thing is a play of Maya. You should enter and be established in the state of Brahman through knowledge. With pride, what happens? We get a sense of ego, and this ego sense is the limiting aspect in us. We feel, look, do you know who I know? Do you know who I am? Do you know how much I have? Do you know my self? Do you know how much what is my worth? So we exaggerate. Our ego is heightened by what we have, by whom we know, and how youthful and wonderful we are. And this can all go in a moment. It doesn't, youth, we all know, we have, many of us here also have experienced that it leaves us. And yet the effort we put in to hold on to it, simple things is about, coloring my hair. And now, of course, Botox and, plastic surgery to get everything off. Why? To remain youthful. And we take pride in remaining youthful instead of accepting gracefully every stage of life. And because we take so much, we get stuck in life, giving it so much importance. So it says, you will remain in Maya if you continue to work towards it, again with wealth. There's a beautiful story of a great devotee of Guru Nanak. This lady, she used to go to him every day, for satsang and get his blessings and sit with him. Her husband was an extremely wealthy merchant, and he was so busy. He had respect for Guru Nanak, but he never could meet him even once a year. He had a very busy life and a busy schedule. So one day his Guru Nanak, he tells this lady, he said, this is a pin, small pin he gives to the lady. And he says, give this to your husband and tell him to give it to me in heaven. So the man was extremely pleased when he got this from Guru Nanak. And he said, my place in heaven is reserved because Guru Nanak has said that I will go to heaven. And then he went to Guru Nanak, and Guru Nanak said, yes, your place in heaven is reserved, but will you be able to take this pin with you to heaven? And that moment, it hit the man that what am I doing? What am I, running after? What am I collecting? There is a place for everything. Nowhere we are very fortunate. We are asked to live our lives fully. We are not, sannyas is not for us all. Sannyas is not wearing saffron robes and going out and living in the woods or in an ashram or on mountain peaks. Sannyasa is an attitude, and that is an attitude where we have given up all our attachments. Only when we give up our attachments do we become swamis. To be a Swami is to be a master. So then every action will be a skillful and a masterful action. That is a Swami. Not, yes, we do call those who wear saffron robes, that is a title given to them, but we can all be masters while living in this world, here and now. And what is keeping us from getting to that state is, we are so caught up in this Maya. What is this Maya that we are caught up in? We need wealth, we need our, relations, we need our contacts, because through our contacts, I can do anything. I know the Prime Minister of Canada. You come here, what do you want? I can get it done for you. So proud that I can get it done. So, or I know the Premier of Newfoundland, if I'm not that great. Come to Newfoundland and I'll get everything done for you. All these, they are great. It is good to have them. He's not telling us, but don't let it have a grip on you. It is here today. Enjoy it masterfully, skillfully. Tomorrow it will be gone. We don't know. If it is gone, let you not be miserable. You remain in that same state of bliss and joy. Do not derive your self-worth from how beautiful and youthful you are, from how much wealth we have, or from who we know, who our contacts are. Now here, because this will be taken away from us any moment. Now, there are two words here that we need to really understand. And I'm sure all of you would have guessed the two main words that are the crux of this sloka, Maya and Brahman. Until we don't understand Maya and Brahman, to understand this is a little challenging. One of, I think, the most deeply and well thought aspect of Hinduism is the Brahman. All other religions have gone as far as what we Hindus refer to as Ishvara, but they have not reached, or not expressed at least. Individuals may have reached that state, but they have not expressed or explained Brahman. So what or who is Brahman? Brahman literally means the great one. It cannot be defined because Brahman is infinite, Brahman is eternal. There is, Brahman is unborn. There are so many pointers that we have in the Hindu texts for the Brahman. Now, has no attributes. Just so that we understand Brahman. So this Brahman, did this whole creation come from the Brahman? What was its role in this creation? Now, when something new is brought forth, there are three ways in which something new can be brought forth. It can be created, it can be produced, or through a modification. Creation is, almost like saying it is the work of someone who took a few things and created whatever it was. Production is very similar to creation, but it takes other aids and helps. In modification, it is the example is that of milk and yogurt. Milk is modified to become yogurt. So other than these three things, there can be no other way of creating something new. Now, Brahman is all pervading, infinite, So this all-pervading infinite cannot be limited by three things: Desha, Kala, and Vastu. Desha means space, Kala means time, and Vastu means thing. So when we say that Brahman cannot be limited by space, it means that it is here and not there, or it is there and not here. If it is, here and not there, that becomes self-negating, that it is not all pervading. So it cannot be limited in space. In time, it was but is not, or it is, will not be, or will be and is not. Cannot be either. It cannot be limited. Always present, everywhere, and not limited by things, which means if it is a pen, then it is not a book. If it is a book, then it is not an iPad. If it is an iPad, then it is not a charger. If it is a charger, then it is not a bulb. So these are limited by what they are. Brahman cannot, if it becomes limited by what it is, you can see it's already a limiting factor. It is not everywhere. So Brahman cannot be limited by Desha, Kala, Vastu, by space, by time, or by a thing. Now, if Brahman cannot be limited, how can there be a creation? Because it was not there. It, as what is there, it becomes limited by Vastu. So it cannot be limited. So is there a creation? That is the whole question. Is this a creation? Can any of us deny that this is not a creation? None of us can deny that this is not a creation. If this is a creation, how do we know it is a creation? It is our experience that this is a creation. There is no doubt. And we use our logic, now we give too much emphasis to our experiences. And till just a few years back, we had no idea of X-rays. We had no idea of ultraviolet rays. Why is that? They were not in the realm of our experiences. Things that exist, but were not part of our experiences, we could not accept that they existed until, of course, it came to us in a certain manner in which they became a part of our experiences. So that is one thing, that one way in which we insist on our experiences. The other thing is, we experience many things, but they are not in existence. Mirage, do we not all experience it? It has no existence. What about the sky? The blue color of the sky? There is nothing like sky, and there is no blue color. But it is our daily experience that there is a blue sky. So this is where Vedanta started questioning, what is the reality of it, and how is this possible? If Brahman cannot undergo change, then how is this creation possible? This creation, cannot be a creation, it cannot be a production, it cannot be a modification. If it is not a creation, if it is not a production, and if it is not a modification, then what is it? So, when we think about any logical problem and we want to resolve that problem, often there is a hypothetical idea that is added to solve the equation or the problem. So Maya is that hypothetical idea that was brought into play. And on solving the problem, it proved the existence of Maya. What a beautiful way, what a logical way, to analyze and to come to conclusion. So, what is it? Maya is a power that is in the Brahman. Now, Maya, what does Maya mean? If we are to Yama Samaya, that which is not and is, that is Maya. It is because we are all experiencing it, but it has no reality. When we say it has no reality, we mean it has no independent existence of its own. Now, that Brahman has this capacity or this power, which is called Maya. With this power of, when it manifests that power of Maya in it, it becomes Ishvara, the creator. So Brahman plus Maya is Ishvara, the creator. Now, to understand Maya, for example, I have the power of singing. When I invoke that power of singing in me, I am the singer. Somebody else has a power of painting. When they invoke that power of painting, they are a painter. Somebody has the power of administrating. Invoking that power of administration, they become the administrator. So all of us have, that inherent power, some inherent power. When we invoke that power, we become singer, administrator, director, whatever capacity, whatever power we have, we invoke it and we become the person who expresses that power. Similarly, Brahman invokes the power of Maya and becomes the Ishvara. Now, what is, and Maya has three qualities in it. What are the three qualities in Maya? They are Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. How do we know Maya has Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas? We know by looking at the effect, we can know what is the cause. When I look at ornament, I know the cause is gold. When I look at a earring, this is gold. When I look at a necklace, this is gold. When I look at a ring, it is gold. Or when I look at various pots, it is made of clay. I know what the cause is. Similarly, if we look at this entire world, we will find the play of three gunas. The three gunas are Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So Maya has these three powers, these three qualities, not powers, are the very nature of Maya. And that is why we find it manifested everywhere in the creation. There is not an aspect of creation where it is not there. So with that power, Brahman plus Maya, we have Ishvara. Now, Ishvara, I'm just, so that we also get a little idea of our Hindu Trinity. I will, moving away a little from the verse, but to bring a little clarity as well. So, Ishvara, then when he functions as one who creates, he is Brahmaji. So we have not to confuse between Brahmaji and the Brahman. Brahmaji, the creator, and Brahman, the great one. So Brahmaji is the creator. That is the potential to create. And when will that potential be manifested? When there is dynamism in it. And that dynamic aspect of creation is Saraswati. How beautifully thought out. Then that which is created has to be sustained. Who is the sustainer? Mahavishnu, the all-pervading one. Again, Vishnu means all-pervading, but in the Trinity, Vishnu is the sustainer. And how can anything be sustained? What is required for sustenance? Wealth. Now, wealth, we only look at it in terms, of material wealth or monetary wealth. But there is wealth. We worship Shri, wealth of values, noble ideas, character. These are all values, wealth. And so Shri is who we worship, Lakshmi. So Vishnu and Lakshmi are the ones who sustain. And Mahesha or Shiva, he is said to be the destroyer. Now, destroyer seems such a negative term. It is not a negative term at all. In destruction of the seed is the birth of a sapling. In destruction of the sapling is the birth of a plant. In birth of a plant, then you have a flower. So a bud. In destruction of the bud is the birth of a flower. In destruction of the flower is the birth of a fruit. In destruction of the fruit is the birth of a seed, and the cycle goes on. So Mahesha, while we say he is the destroyer, he is actually Lord of change. This change is what we call destruction, is what we also understand as death. But that is just a change. That is why Shiva is also the Lord of death. And to destroy, a great amount of strength and force is required. So that dynamic aspect is Shakti, Parvati, Uma. So this is the Hindu Trinity that we worship. Now, I'm just looking at the time, it is almost 9:35. We have only a few minutes left. So this, just to give you an idea of what is Brahman, Maya is that which is, but is not. It has no independent existence of its own. It exists in the Brahman. It is all that exists is the Brahman. This creation is a projection of the Brahman. How is this a projection? I will, conclude with this example, and then we will continue next week. The classic example that is used in Vedanta is that of a rope and a snake. In the evening, in the twilight time, we are walking on the streets and we see a snake. And when we see the snake, we are overcome with fear. We are overcome, with anxiety, and we want to find a solution. So we start finding ways and means, and we are in a panic. At that time, there is someone who comes with a torchlight and throws light on it. And when the light is thrown on the snake, I come to recognize that it is not a snake indeed, it is a rope. Similarly, right now, so what happened in this case? In this case, what existed was only the rope. There was no snake that existed at all. Was the snake real for me, or was it unreal for me? As long as I experienced the snake was real. It created all the anxiety, all the fear. I was, trying to find solutions to this problem called the snake. But when the light was thrown on the snake, I came to realize it was a rope. Similarly, we all experience this world. It is very real for us. And we go through ups and downs of life. We face so many challenges in life, and they are all real for us. They will remain real until the light of knowledge leads us to that state, Brahma Padam, Tvam Pravisha Viditva. Once we come to know, then there will be no anxieties, there will be no fear. They become to be established in the state of Brahman. I see it. We have just 4 minutes left, so I will conclude here and start. We will take this up again next week to clarify further on this topic. Anybody? We'll say our concluding prayers, and then we will talk. And if there are questions, we'll take them. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. It's an interesting topic, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
मजा आई.